Hello,
Listen,
everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Fearless Storytellers Movement. Thank you for stopping by this evening on Thursday, March 9th, 2023. Now, I know some of y'all are like, now, hold on. It's International Women's Month. Why in the world are they having a men's event on International Women's Month? Because we can. Okay. And one thing in the Fearless Storytellers movement, we do not believe in male bashing. We believe in making sure that our brothers are whole and healed and their trauma is real. But these men have experienced tremendous and are experiencing tremendous triumph. I'm the founder of the Fearless Storytellers movement, Adrienne E. Bell, 27-time Amazon bestselling publisher. I am a brand management expert, film director, and producer. We have the movie on Amazon Prime right now, so you guys go check it out. Thank you to all of you that have already went and checked it out. But tonight, it's all about the men of the Fearless Storytellers movement. So listen, I need y'all to go share the live on your page. If you got a man that you're trying to see what's up with him, see if he watched this live. He don't watch this live, he ain't the one, sis. Okay? So that'll let you know if you really where you're supposed to be. Okay? So make sure you share, brothers, fathers, it doesn't matter. So ladies, it's on us to share. Okay? Because the brothers, they support us, they show up. But if let them not show up for us, we'll be like, you didn't show up for me. Show up. Okay. So before we move forward, I want to make sure that you have the right to ask any questions in the chat. These men are very transparent. Now, if it's a question where I'm like, girl, they're not answering that, I will let you know he's not answering that. But I am so proud of all of these gentlemen. They all have amazing stories. When his soul cries, you can see it in the background. When his soul cries, trauma, tears, triumph, and it is an amazing story compilation of books of stories of these men who've gone through pain, and at the hands of a woman. Some of us, hello, we don't like to hear that we've hurt our men. Okay. And we have. And so these men, they're not bashing us in the book, but they are talking about their own healing. Hey, Denise Jordan, thanks for joining us tonight. Thank you guys for sharing it. I appreciate you guys. You are always supportive, especially supporting our brothers. Thank you, Natalie Edwards. Hello, Mr. Rodney. He's an honorary member of the Fearless Storytellers movement. So as we move forward, the first guy, I have to honor him. I don't know. I think I'm gonna wait till last to honor him. Okay. Let me first go with my BFF. I'm gonna say partner in he-nanigans, not she-nanigans, but he-nanigans. He's always into something, doing something, saying something. He keeps me on track. He keeps helping me keep a marriage together. We've been friends for almost 27 years, something like that, 26 years, long time. He used to be my boss, but now I'm his boss. Give it up for Elam B. King. What's up, Elam B. King?
what up? What up? What's going on?
He never knows what I'm going to say when I introduce him. He never knows.
Oh my God. I'm
This
excited to be here.
Yes, we're excited to have you. Next on the stage, this man has a wonderful movement. He's doing great things with his podcast. He's all about uplifting kings and making sure that they're living their best lives, helping with their esteem and mental health and all of those good things. So it's nothing more wonderful watching a man celebrate another man. Can y'all give it up for the Honorable Craig King Cooper? You got to put the king in there. My bad, King.
Thank you.
I forgot to put the king in there when we was marketing, okay? What's up, man? How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I like the beard.
Thank you.
That's nice. Hello, Candace. That's one of our other fearless storytellers. The fearless storytellers are gonna be in the house, y'all. So they're gonna make sure they celebrate their brothers. Next to the stage, he's the quiet storm of the group. He is an amazing husband, doing great things, amazing father, doing great things, walking in his purpose. Now, he did give me a little trouble because I was like, hey, sir, come on now, let's get it. But when he got it, he got it. And I'm so proud of him. Bring it to the stage, Mr. Mark Bester. Hello, Mr. Mark Bester.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Come on, hello, how are you? I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right, next to the stage is my other partner in He-Nanigans. We're doing great things together. We don't have as long of a tenure as me and Mr. King, but it feels like we have known each other all our lives. This is my brother, my friend. We're doing amazing things that's coming up, and we've already done some amazing things. But this is my partner, one of my partners, amazing guy, doing great things. Mr. Sugar Ray Destin Jr. What's up, man?
What's going on? What's going on?
Oh, that's the voice I'm gonna get today. Oh, okay, y'all. I'm not sure what's happening right now. That's not what it is. Hey, Lashandra, girl. How you doing, Sugar Ray? That's what we doing today.
Listen, hey, I'm just waiting to get into it.
Okay, y'all.
You done gave us some hot topics to touch on, so
I did. We about to get into it.
yeah, it's about to go down.
It's about to go down. Listen, ladies, y'all hold on. I know, right? Come on, Denise. All right, Mr. Mark, voice deep Bester. Last to the stage, but certainly not least, he's the lover of my soul, huh? He's the lifter of my head, huh? And he takes real good care of me. I want to give it up for the visionary of this project. I was so honored that he would even want to embark on this because I had been harassing him for many years to tell his story because he has such an amazing story. Can y'all help me welcome the Honorable Donald Livingston Bell Jr.? Yes, I used your entire government name.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks. Not the whole government name.
The whole entire, okay, government. All right. That's right. The right Bishop Reverend Pastor Donald Bell. He got a whole lot of titles. Hey, y'all, do me a favor. Go ahead and share this. Thank you. Hey, Tia Holiness. Hey, girl. Hey. Who else is on here? Thank you so much for sharing. Of course, we will. I was gonna say we're gonna thank God, but we do thank God for her. We want to honor Mrs. Tamika Bester also, that's always been supportive of her husband. Ladies, if you have a husband that has a story, you want to support him telling his story. So we're going to jump right into it. We're not going to talk too much about the book. But we do want you to go to Amazon.com right now. The Kindle version is available right now on sale. Now, you know your man is probably not going to read a physical copy, okay? But he might just scroll on his phone. So buy it for your sons, for your friends, for your family. And Sugar Ray will go ahead and put that in the chat for you so that you can go and get that. But you want to make sure that you equip your man, your son, your brother with this information about these men's story. Their hearts have been broken by women. They have broken the hearts of women. They're in here telling the raw, uncut truth about heartbreak. Sometimes women, we're like, oh my God, he broke my heart. Girl, we break their hearts too. So make sure you get the book. But we're going to jump into some issues about men, some of the challenges and concerns that men have and that they go through. And one of the questions that I posed to the men, and I'm excited to hear their answers. The first question on the table is, what did you need to unlearn as you evolved as a man? What did you need to unlearn as you evolved as a man? So I'm going to start with Elam King because he's the preacher of the group. So we're going to let him, and now what we'll do is we'll mute his phone when he's going a little long, okay?
Really?
Because he's a preacher of the group. No, he's going to be like, I am not a preacher. Let's be very clear. So Elam.
Let's be very clear.
What did you have to unlearn as the man?
I would say that the biggest thing for me is that I didn't have it together the way that I thought that I did. I checked the boxes of going to school and then going to college and then getting a good job or whatever. And as I navigated through that space, I realized some other things were missing. And I would say off the top, purpose was not there. And because I didn't have that, it becomes a steamroll effect of other decisions that were made along the way. So having to come to grips with, well, what somebody else said was the direction of, like, you know, the house and the car and the kids and the wife and all that. Didn't have the picket fence, but couldn't have, HOA can't have no picket fence. So, so having all that and then being like, no, like I don't have me first. And so unlearning the fact that I thought I had it and I didn't was a big piece for myself.
Best friend, you ain't never said that to me. That's deep. That came from Jesus. You ain't never said that to me. All right. Mr. Craig, what did you have to unlearn as a man?
I feel like one thing I had to unlearn that over my journey, either in my relationship now with my fiance, also that my voice matters. In my past, dealing with women, I always thought like it was never okay for me to be myself. And I sent her a text to her like the other day, and I said, "Thank you for providing a safe place for me." Meeting a safe place means I can be myself. I can show my emotions. I can act on how I feel. I had to unlearn that it's okay to me to feel my emotions. And that's something, I'm a youth development specialist. So that's something I always teach my kids. Like, it's okay to feel your emotions. Acknowledge what it is. We had to do this demonstration with the kids where they had to write down things that have been bothering them over and over again. So every negative word we had to carry, we put heavy rocks in there. So imagine carrying those emotions from a teenager to a grown man. So one thing I had to learn is how to deal with my emotions, and it's okay for me to admit how I feel.
I love that. And shout out to your amazing fiance. Is she here? Is she there? Hey, girl. Hey, it's okay.
She's looking right at me.
Hey, girl. Hey, she's also a fearless storyteller. This is a power couple doing great things in the community.
Thank you.
And so y'all make sure y'all follow both of them. They're doing great things. They did the Storytellers together. She was in one of our other volumes, and then of course Craig did this. So listen, we're making moves over here. Donald, I'm gonna wait on Donald because see, he's a wild card. I don't know what he's gonna say, so let's just wait. Okay. Sugar Ray.
Oh man, listen. This is that question is so multifaceted, but two things really stand out. One, it's okay to be happy, right? It's okay to be happy, and as men, we feel it's our duty to make everybody else happy, and so we'll go into that later. But and then the other thing is that peace is priceless. Your peace is priceless. There is, yeah. I see you over there, Elam. There are some things that money can't buy, and that's your peace. And so, if you're not bringing me peace,
well, you said you wanted to get into it later. I want to know what was you gonna say when you said you was gonna get into it later. What was you gonna say?
When we talk about it's okay to be happy, I mean, if you look at the way that the world is set up, right? As men, we're taught it's our job to provide. It's our job to make sure that the house is good. And then by the time we finish with everything, we're exhausted. We're exhausted because we're taking care of our families. We're taking care of the world outside. We're taking care of those under our leadership. And so we don't take our own happiness into mind. And then, like I said, when it comes down to that piece, it's just priceless. I really can't expand on it, but I would rather be single than be in a place where peace is not present.
Y'all hear that, ladies? Listen, I'll say it. He'd rather be single so that his peace is present. Okay? Because ladies, we're supposed to be his peace. This is not, and not just who the men we sleep with, but also our brothers, our friends, our sons. We can be a little rough around the edges. And so we got to polish that up because we don't think men, yes, there are some men that you're like, oh, he's a narcissist. He's this, everybody ain't a narcissist, ma'am. Sometimes they're just immature. Sometimes you're immature, but we kind of throw everybody, if they don't do what you want them to do, they're in the narcissist bucket. Every man is not a narcissist. Okay. So now some are, but these that's on here, they're not. Okay. Shout out to Charles James. He could not make it with us tonight, so I want to make sure he's also in the book. He's our millennial of the group. Listen, and he went in the book. But Sugar Ray, you said it on point. That piece is priceless. Mr. Mark, same question. What did you need to unlearn as a man?
Well, for me personally, I had to unlearn bottling everything up that came at me and then letting it all out in a fit of rage, a fit of anger. So I had to unlearn using anger to retaliate during conversations.
Oh, that's good.
Because me and my I just say me and my ex used to get into situations and we wouldn't communicate. We're talking at each other, and the more that you talk at a person, sometimes it just starts to build up, and then when it gets to that boiling point, for me, it just exploded. So I had to unlearn using anger to retaliate.
That's good. Y'all hear this, y'all? Y'all make anger to he had to unlearn anger. Honey, and it's okay. He can throw me under the bus. He already knows me. I can handle it. Okay. Now he might hear it a little later, but he can handle it. I can handle it. No, I'm just kidding. Honey, what did you have to unlearn?
Can't even do that to him.
When it came to
You can't even do that to him. We being honest.
yeah, we're being honest. I want him to be honest. And for the record, I actually interviewed my husband for this book as if he was my client because I wanted him to be feel safe to tell his truth. I wanted him to feel safe. And ladies, when a man is telling you his truth, it's not for us to tear him down, to use his truth as a weapon against him, but to help him grow. That's what it's about. Honey, what did you have to unlearn as a man?
So the biggest thing I would say that I had to unlearn, similar to Elam, I understood growing up kind of what my expectations were going to be as a father and a husband, but I limited it to just providing for the home and protecting for the home, right? Growing up, anybody that's raised baby boomer men and beyond or whatever didn't show a lot of emotions. We got the provision piece down. You go to work. You're not going to be a trifling man. You protect the home. Somebody comes for the house, you protect the house, and a little bit of the priest thing. Make sure you go to church, make sure the family's good and all that. But that emotional covering, I did not understand that the provision we're supposed to provide is all inclusive. And so that emotional stability from a provision standpoint that my family was going to need, I did not prepare myself for that. So as I moved along and I got to be a husband, I got to be a father, I wanted the credit for having checked all the other boxes on the provision piece, the protection piece, as I thought. And, the church piece, wasn't out here clowning and wilding, but my emotional piece, I was not in touch with my emotional side. I was not free. I'm not gonna say free, but I hadn't learned that it was okay for me to express my emotions and to do so in a positive way. We're taught to just shut down and bottle things up, like Mark was talking about. But what I didn't realize is even though we don't talk about our emotions do actually talk for us. So even though when we're not talking, it's giving off in our body language. It's giving off in, for me, as we'll talk about later, reckless behavior later on down the line, and or rage, as Mark talked about, or whatever. It speaks for us when we don't do the work to unpack our emotions in a healthy manner. So for me, I had to unlearn the fact that provision was more than just providing a check, providing a protection, and making sure the family went to church.
Uh oh, AB, we can't hear you, honey. We can't hear you.
I'm so sorry. I said
Okay, go
that's
ahead.
great. I said that's great, honey. He actually did his work before I did mine. Don't judge me. So when he got healed, I was like, not get healed. Oh no, you don't get to heal. But he did. He did the work. So I want to. Does anybody want to piggyback on what Donald said? Sugar Ray looked like he getting ready to jump in. No. Okay. So.
Okay, so no, so what I would say is that what bottled up inside of what Donald just talked about
Mhm.
is a word that's slowly traveling around right now, and it's called emotional intelligence. And so most of us were not raised inside of that space to whereas hey, you gotta don't cry, don't act like a girl, you can't express your emotions, what you say doesn't matter, to do as I say that I don't do, do as I say, yeah, that I don't do. And remember, you're a man, so you're really not allowed to express yourself because if you do, emotion equals weakness. And even biologically, the worst thing that you can say to, I think it is statistically a 4-year-old boy is that don't act like a girl. That's one of the worst things you could say to a boy. And
Right.
so a young boy. And so we grow up with these spaces and then we meet you and then we're in a space that we have to feel and then we feel some type of way and then we don't have that emotional intelligence. Now don't mess around and couple that with we haven't figured out our purpose and what direction we're going to go in. It's like, or it's a recipe for disaster. And then in walks, don't be a black man, let's just go straight there. Okay,
Right.
so we're at the bottom of the totem pole, so we're already fighting so many other subcultures that exist, and then we have our own space that we're trying to walk in inside of our own head. But this is the reason why that I love being with all these gentlemen that are here because the spaces that they talked about inside of the book are things that men walk through, right? And dealing with ourselves and walking through whether it's careers, whether it's our emotions, whether it's finances or whatever, or just understanding what our value is.
Yes.
We're not really taught about that value and worth. It's actually put into some of the wrong. I'm sorry. Let me just. Yeah,
No,
yeah. Go.
that's what we're
No,
here for. That's what
no,
we're
I
here
don't
for.
want to keep going. I want to give a moment.
Yeah. No, that's what we're
You
here
know,
for.
it's placed inside of, and I just speak for myself. Promiscuity is where my value is placed inside of, and so I led into life inside of that space of money, promiscuity. Those two things, if I got those down, life is good, right? And then one day you grow up and you do not conform to this world, and you be renewed, and you're like, wait a minute. And that unlearn process, back to the first question, is actually something that's difficult when this is what you were taught. And a lot of times people sit back and they make statements regard as if, oh, well, you just don't have to do that. Well, we just don't have to do a lot of things. But mine was my issue was my issue. What's yours? Do you know your issue walking into a relationship before you're even going to be with somebody? So I think that the one thing as men, if I could walk away from this whole conversation right now, the one thing as men that we need to start learning how to do is we need to start showing up for ourselves first. And if we do that, if we go in on that, if we spend time on that, we almost don't have time for some of this foolishness that exists out here, because that journey by itself, it has its rewards, but it's difficult and it keeps you focused. So I'm sorry. I just
No, you
And,
good.
and
Listen,
can
Mr.
I,
Rodney
can
said,
I
yeah, let me say this, Mr. Rodney.
add?
He said, absolute truth. Peace is everything. Melvin Smith said, unlearning anger. He said, preach, y'all. Miss Nacy said, I know some men that need to hear this. Of course, Nolan Davis was like, boom. Go ahead, baby.
Nah, and when Elam was talking about that unlearning process, that part is so hard for men because people will feel like, you should just get it by now. Don't you know any better? But when something is instinctive, when something is your at your core, your natural instinct, it's just like a dog. I don't care how well you train a dog, he has instinctively nature is to bite. So when people be like, no, 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 he good, he don't bite, that dog under the right circumstances and the right scenario is going to bite because it's tough for them. I don't care how many obedience classes you put them in, how many treats you give them, under the right set of circumstances, that innate nature in him is going to come out. So for us, when we've got to unlearn certain behaviors, whether we picked them up naturally in our genetic DNA or by observation, or we've just pieced it together in when a male role model may have been missing or whatever, that unlearning process is a life. challenge. It is an ever evolving process, and you don't just get it. You don't get your certificate and you just graduate and you're like, I got it now. Nah, it's like levels to this thing. Like it keeps going and going because because now I have to unlearn it in middle age. Now I have to unlearn it because I'm a parent. Now I have to unlearn it because my kids are grown or are adult. It's levels to this thing. So just wanted to add that.
Mr. Rodney said, if we show emotion, our partner will call us a BAN. Y'all know what that acronym means? I'm not gonna
Yeah.
say this on the show, but inbox Sugar Ray if you want to know what a BAN is. Okay. Because I
I'm
know
not even gonna type it out.
we can type it out. So we don't want to get banned, okay?
Yeah.
For profanity, but we will. Women have, and me guilty. I mean, I don't think I've ever used that term, but I was close. He was like, no, but I was close to it because
very close, but not quite the exact terminology, but similar phrasing.
Sir, that's what we're doing tonight.
Sorry, I gotta get free. I'm trying to get free. This is I'm unlearning. I gotta get free tonight. I gotta get free.
Get free, boo. Listen, gentlemen, one of the things ladies, so this is not necessarily just a relationship conversation for men that you're sleeping with. This is for your son. We talk to our sons recklessly. When we're talking to our coworkers, having the not Miss Niecy said what's the BAN. Sugar Ray, tell Miss Niecy what's the BAN. Now I think Miss Niecy done said it though. I mean, I'm just saying.
I got you.
So the other question, guys, that I want to get into, and you guys please go ahead and ask your questions in the comments. And if you're Miss Afrika said, unlearning is a life challenge. It really is. And I had to learn that even in my own relationship. I'm like, you really should have got it by now. But even in myself, I'm unlearning. So let's all give each other grace, especially our men who are trying, not the trifling stuff, but the ones that are actually showing effort. If he tells you that his love language is physical touch, get a man what he needs. If he tells you it's words of affirmation, give him what he needs. Because we'll be like, you don't talk, and then they talk, and then we don't want to hear what they got to say. We got to actually show up in every capacity, just like we're expecting them to show up. The other question, guys, is, and I'm gonna start off with Sugar Ray. What is one thing? And you can go ahead and let loose on here, okay? What is one thing you wish women understood about men? Just one thing. I mean, you can get two, but one.
You want me to keep it brief, in other words?
No, you don't have to keep it. Listen, the ladies are listening. They're on here.
So I'm going to say something that I've heard at least 10 times from dudes in the past week. This whole alpha female, which means like I'm going to control you. No man, no real man wants another mother or wants to date a dude. So we do actually want that soft side from the woman. And being soft as a woman is not a bad thing, right? It's not a bad thing. It's actually the most beautiful thing that you can be, because it's in our nature to want to spoil, to want to give, to want to do for, but we also want to know that it's appreciated, right? We also want to know that it's appreciated. And so in experience, years ago, there's a phrase that I used to hear from women, and it is, I've been doing this on my own for so long, I don't need no man. Well, you're going to get exactly what you speak. You putting it into the universe. Men are just like women are out there, I want my Boaz. I want my Boaz. Dudes are out here like, yeah, my bad, y'all. Dudes are out here I'm a comedian. I'm a fool with it. So I told you I was being nice. Um, Dudes are actually out here looking for our queens too. We want that woman that we can put on the pedestal, not because we want you to be our trophy, but because we want to treat you as such. And but you can't be a queen if you still chasing the attention of the village.
Sugar Ray, rewind that back about 15 seconds, man, because I don't need that to just thrown out there like that's just like, I'm sorry. You're not going to drop a nugget like that and it just lay there. Okay? Can you rewind back about 15 seconds, please, sir?
All right.
I,
We want the woman. We want the woman that we can treat like a queen, not because we are trying to put you on this trophy case, but because we want to actually spoil the woman that we're with. And that's because some of us actually did grow up in those two-parent households. My parents have been married for 49 years. That's my example. I don't want to marry my wife, but I want a woman that I could actually bring home and say, here's the quality that you've shown me my whole life. And then no man wants the woman, no man can call a woman his queen that's still out there chasing the attention of the village. So you can have all your Instagram and your Snapchat and all those filters out there, but give us give us you. Yeah.
We're all like, well, it's been a great show. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Mic drop.
Because I wasn't ready. Uh, you can't be a queen if you're still chasing the attention of the village. Who you steal that from, Sugar Ray? I don't think you came up with that.
That's life experience. I'm an ugly dude that's always dated pretty girls. So with that being said,
No.
some women are beautiful and don't know it, and they still chasing the wrong attention. And some women are naturally beautiful.
Oh, you just saved it all up for today, huh? You just waited, huh? And for the record, he is a ugly dude that does date beautiful women, but he's also 6'7". Okay, so he don't have no problem getting a woman. Okay, but just like women will be like, oh, it's pee out here in the dating pool. It's pee out here, ma'am. You peeing in the pool too. Okay, Boaz ain't looking for you. We need to polish how we're showing up in the world. Craig, what are your thoughts on what because you got you a good one, honey. You got you a good one. Okay. They don't make them like that no more. Who you got? Okay.
Yes, thank you for asking that. My thing would be, imagine what you would do for a man if you offer him a safe place, right? So I'm gonna go back with this. Before we met, at the time I was going through depression, I was going through a lot, and I was talking to my ex over the phone, and we was video chatting, right? At the time, there wasn't like social media out like that. It wasn't, mental health wasn't out there like that. So I'm expressing to her like, hey, babe, I'm going through this feeling. I got this dark cloud. I don't know what it is. I'm going through depression. Up until that point, the only woman who's ever provided a safe place was my mother. That was the only one, right? So I'm thinking I'm going to get that result. Like, okay, I'm here for you, babe. So instead, she just looks at the camera closely and laughs. And this is the day before I started to want to kill myself, right? So imagine you're a man, not going out without a father, so you're numb to your emotions. You express to a woman how you feel, so imagine how that man's going to feel after that. At that point, I'm like, I'm never giving my heart to a woman ever again, because that's how I felt. Fast forward to when we first met, I had a death in the family. My fiance calls me, video chat me or whatever. I'm feeling like, she goes, look at me. In the back of my mind, I remember how it felt the last time I did that. I'm replaying in my mind how it's going to feel. And I'm telling myself, if she doesn't give me that safe place, I'm never going to talk to her again. The first thing she said was, it's okay. It's okay. Cry. Let it out. I'm just like, hold on, what you mean it's okay? You mean it's okay for me to express how I feel? So to this day, I give her the utmost love. So imagine that joy you're going to get back. Imagine that husband material you're going to get back. You want a husband, you got to treat that man right. You got to let that man know it's okay. Let the man know, come here, give me a hug. I got you. I hold my fiance to the same regard as my mother and my grandmother. That's a high regard. So imagine if you give that man that safe place.
He just dropped the mic on y'all. That's the drop the mic with Craig, just so y'all know. He just and he does talk about that in his book, in his story. So make sure the link is in the comments. Y'all need to download it tonight and read his story, because I was a little choked up just as with his transparency about his vulnerability. Let's go to, no, we're not going to Elam. Mark, what is the one? Because we can't do two preachers back to back. I can't do story and this much. What is the one thing you wish women understood about men, Mark?
The one thing I wished, well, I want to say I wish that they knew. I think they know that men do have feelings, and they get smashed, trashed, stomped on, ran over. And when you treat a man like that, most times one or two things happen. They either shut down or you turn him into a beast. What I mean by that is they stop having feelings for women and they look at them as objects to conquer. And there's no love in it. They just smash and pass. And on the other hand, when they shut down, they don't want to have anything to do with you at all. So women need to understand that sometimes, and it's not the woman that actually desires to have a good man in her life, it's not her fault that when she runs into a man that's turned into a beast, that is not her fault. It's the woman or the women that he's dealt with in the past that have made him like that. And if she desires to have that man in her life, she's going to have to break down some walls. But that's going to take time, and you got to have patience.
No, that's good, Mark. That's real good. I love that
Mark.
sentiment. That's real good, because that's one thing my husband taught me very early on. For those of you who don't know us, I've been with Donald. I was 19 when I met him. I'm 44 now, so I've been with him for 25 years as of the first Sunday in March. And so to watch him evolve over the years, when he did have his beast moment, right? Moments, I had to learn, and still learning, to make sure that I don't create this monster, right? Because women, listen, we'll throw it out there and don't care what you do with it. We will cuss you out, call you out your name, talk about your mama. It doesn't matter, because we feel like, well, we can't beat you, so let's just use our words as weapons. Now, some of us do be fighting these men. Y'all need to cut it out, because if he turned around and slapped you or punched you, he'd be in jail, and you sitting there holding your face like old girl in It's a Thin Line. Stop it, okay? We got to do better. But as far as us women learning what men are trying to unlearn, can we do a better job, ladies, of taking that seriously when they are trying to unlearn? Let's not add to the beast. So they are natural hunters. It's natural for them to show anger, to protect themselves, right? And so we got to do better. Honey, and I think Craig, I think you answered the question very eloquently. Did you want to add anything to what you wish women understood, or are you good?
I'm good.
Okay. Honey, what do you wish women understood about men?
It's a common theme with everything that has been shared thus far, that women have to understand. Well, let me say this. Those who are going to be wives and significant others have to understand that when we decide to evolve and grow up and bring you into a space where we consider you our significant other, our queen, our wife, we now develop this wall against the world, and there's only this space where we allow you to be. We only allow you to be there. The only other person that we used to keep in that space probably was our mother, grandmother, or whatever other person was there. But once we decide you're going to be our queen, we put you in that place. So that vulnerable space that we allow you to operate in has to be handled delicately, because your words have power. Literally, the Bible says the life and death is in the power of the tongue, and everything all the brothers have said so far in this space speaks to you can give life and you can help tear down and destroy a man, because he is the least vulnerable. He is the most vulnerable with you. It's supposed to be, Bonnie and Clyde, us against the world. But if I'm out here trying to fight the world, but then I got to turn around and fight you, now I'm all messed up because I'm looking over my shoulder. I don't feel like I got anybody I can rely on when my ride or die, my boo, my queen and everything is attacking. Understand your words have power. And also, again, we talked about that unlearning process. Many times for women, you all can get your emotion, your anger expressed verbally. So you can say what you want to say, cuss us out, call us trifling, this, that, and third, and y'all go to sleep and sleep peacefully, and it's all good. But for the man, we tight now, we hot. And the way we would normally handle that in the street, if a dude came at us like that, it's gonna be some furniture moving, it's gonna be a problem. And so we trying to not do that. We trying to not call you a B. We trying to not call you out your name, because if we do that, now our son done heard that, our daughter done heard that. So we got to keep all of that in mind. But it's only but so much time when a woman can keep poking a man in the corner, and then when the bear does growl and come back out, then it's a problem. I wish you would hit me. I wish you would. And then sometimes you have to make a wish foundation. You get your wish granted, and that's what happens. And sometimes women don't understand that aspect of it. It never makes it right, but it's very few quiet women that got slapped. Most of the time, a lot of times it's poking the bear. And you can only, men, again, we have that instinctive nature. So when we get forced into a corner, again, by our queen that we allowed into that space, that reaction we have when we do come out swinging, it can be very ugly and very detrimental. So please understand, your words have the utmost power. They ring the loudest of any other female voice on planet Earth in our ears. So it can be life-giving. You can tell us we can leap over walls, and you know what, doggone it, tomorrow I'm gonna go try and leap over walls. But if you tell me I'm a trifling so-and-so and I'm a chump, that's going to register too. And then let's keep it a buck. Like your words can manifest. So you can keep calling your man a chump, keep calling them this, that, and the third, but then you want him to be the man, drop it in the bedroom and be the mandingo. Well, he's still a chump. So now I'm chumped out, right? I'm good.
Okay. All right. We losing Donald. Come back, sugar. You all
No,
right?
we good. We good.
You all right, sugar? Come on back.
We good. We good. We good. I'm
Hey,
letting you know words got power. Words got
hey,
power.
absolutely. I'm with
Preach.
preach, Bill. I'm with you, baby. If we was at church, I'd be the one loud on the front row. Okay. Listen, Tamika Bester said, mute Donald's line. Okay. You done put everybody under the bridge with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Like, y'all, he's never said that before. I don't know where that came from. That was fresh from heaven. That is new information for me. Okay. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. Also, the gentleman will take some questions that you may have. Elam King. Okay. Elam King, what is
Yes,
one
ma'am.
thing you wish women understood about men?
Why you gotta ask it like that? I don't
Because
understand.
I gotta, yeah,
You got to tread carefully.
because listen, when Elam, let me tell y'all a story.
I didn't even start. I didn't even say nothing.
One of the things, one book Elam and I were doing for another project, and I interviewed Elam, baby. I sat there, I said, Elam, we cannot put this in the book, sir. I mean, he went off. If you want to hear the recording, let me know. I'll send it to you. No, I'm just kidding.
No, don't never.
But I said that to say he will admit he was really in an unhealed space when it came to women because we have mishandled men so long. And now they are woke, like, hold on, I don't have to live like this. Oh, I don't. The emotional intelligence of men are increasing, ladies. So we can't get over on them like we've been doing. Let's keep it a buck because we've mastered the art of manipulation, ladies. We don't want to talk about it. We can't use our vagina to get over on these men anymore. Okay? I said that and I'll say it again. We can't do it. All right? Go ahead, Elam.
I'm going to say that if I had to speak for a moment as if I was talking to my 29-year-old daughter right now, who can say that she heard this back when she was a teenager, I would say watch linking up with people like myself. And the reason why that I shared that is because although high school thought I had it together, right? Although, post-college thought I had it together, I didn't. And, there's a difference between linking up with a man who's surviving and one who's living. And so, they can look exactly the same in the beginning. Donald touched on it so eloquently when he said, and I wrote it down, that he said, we decide at some point. I think that that's so pivotal when he said that. We decide at some point. Now, do you have some young men that decide at 15? Great. Do you have some that decide at 20? Great. 30? Great. 40, 50, 60? This is what really happens. Just because a man hits 18, he's kind of, for the sake of just the conversation, it's kind of like baking a cake, right? And so you can have a cake that's brown on the outside, right? But when you put the little like toothpick in there, right, it's not done on the inside, right? And so I would put the caution out there, ladies, that if you don't link up with somebody who is not connected from a emotional perspective, from a purpose perspective, and from a spiritual perspective, like there's a difference between dating for entertainment. You can date me for entertainment, but don't commit. Don't do that. Because here's the thing, we always talk about submission, right? Submission, let's break it up. Submission. You have to come under the mission. If he doesn't have the mission, then there's no direction, and there's so many different places that you can end up. Right. And so it could be very entertaining along the way. Right. And that's fun. Right. But when we decide, as Donald said, when we decide, if you're not a compliment to our decision, there's going to be some problems. All right. There's going to be a disconnect. And it doesn't matter what your sex is or what your head is or how much money that you make or what table that you bring that you think that you bring to it. Once we decide of what direction that you want to go, you have to be a compliment to our decision. And so that's just something that you just have to accept. There's certain things that we have to accept as men with regard to you. So just understand that this one, you have to come under the mission, and your mission, which you should have, which I taught my daughter to make sure that she had, your mission has to also be a compliment to the direction that where we're going to go. So that's why it matters that you have your self-worth together. You know which direction you're going to go in so that you can partner yourself with a man that's you can be a compliment to him and he can be a compliment to you. So let's start moving away from, we really can't trust a big butt and a smile, men. Okay. And ladies, just because whatever that he has and how much he packing and all the money that if he's not a compliment, when his decision is made, you might not be standing there. So you have to understand that it behooves you to know what direction you want to go in and be able to understand what direction he's want to go in. And that's the person that you want to partner yourself with.
Only preachers say behoove. Okay. Nobody spell behoove, Elam. Spell it. Okay.
I'm going on mute.
The chat is blowing Thank you guys for joining us so much. Thank you for those of you that went ahead and bought the book. It's in the comments. When His Soul Cries, Trauma, Tears, Triumph by the men of the Fearless Storytellers movement. Mike Coleman, thank you. Deanna Stevens, thank you. Miss Nia, thank you. Mr. Marvin Cotton Jr., another Amazon best-selling author. Entertainment dating. Elam talked about entertainment dating. Do we have time for that? Do we have time to go into that? Because I think we got a lot of single women on. Honey, you often talk about, and anybody jump in at any time. Craig, Mark, Sugar Ray, jump in at any time. You, honey, talk about all the time when we coach singles. We coach single ladies and gentlemen. Donald and I do coach. We don't counsel. We coach singles, we coach couples, especially dating couples. For the record, Elam and I are coming out with a new product that we cannot wait to share with the singles. It's going to be amazing, okay? But, honey, you talk about women and the scent that women give off, and then we're concerned about what comes in. Can you expound on that?
Certainly. So again, remember, as educated as men can be, some of us may have gone to college and have degrees or whatever. At our core, we still have animalistic tendencies. We have some animalistic traits. And so we search for that which we are looking for. And so, unbeknownst to some ladies, I think Sugar Ray spoke about it earlier. The alpha female who, it's really not an alpha female. It's really some woman who's giving off more energy that she don't need nobody. We pick that scent up. So the right dude or the right suitor passes you by. We pick up the scent of the woman who we know who really don't have it together and who can possibly be taken advantage of. And so, because it's a scent that you give off, that people talking about being thirsty or whatever, but it's a thirsty as a scent, and we pick that up because if you look at like National Geographic or whatever, the hunters, the lions and the tigers or whatever, they don't go after the strongest thing in the herd to kill. They're looking for something that's already wounded. They're looking for something that's already lame because it's an easy target. So we pick that up. And so if you're giving off that you're thirsty, you're going to attract those people who are looking to take advantage of you. Now, if you give off that you have it together and that you're open to entertaining a suitor, then you are going to attract the right person. Same thing happens when a purebred wolf, a female, she wants her children to be bred by the strong alpha male that's the leader of the pack. So she gives off a certain scent that attracts that leader of the pack so that her offspring have that same strength within them. So it's all the energy you give off, and that Sugar Ray talked about, if you about being about the gram or whatever, there's a whole game plan that we know how to get that. Okay, so I can buy her some shoes, treat her how I want to treat her, or do whatever, and she gonna be good because she got the pics for the gram, she got this, and she gonna be good. Like, it's a scent you get, ladies give off that you really aren't aware that you're giving it off, but you really are, and men pick up on that literally, like we're literally sniffing, like we can smell it, like we sense it, just like we're an animal, like we sense it.
I'm sorry, excuse me. I'm sorry. Can I raise my hand? Did you just act like
Yeah.
you were?
I did.
That was everything.
That just happened.
No, like, he is being super brand new tonight. I just want y'all to know he is in rare form tonight. No, honestly, this is who he is all the time. He's dumb. I'm sorry, y'all. He's crazy. Miss Denise said, I just hollered, okay? Wait a minute. Miss Niecy said, what is entertainment dating? I'm old school. So just for the record, ladies and gentlemen, if you're dating for entertainment, you're really not dating for marriage. You're dating so you can just be entertained. You're bored. You don't have any purpose. You don't know what you're doing. You're wasting people's time, right? That's entertainment dating. right? And so we got to get out of that because you're gonna roll up on something that you don't want or something you can't get rid of. Okay. Um,
Ooh.
so alpha females now. I'm kind of so sick of hearing about, just like I told y'all about the narcissist thing. I'm kind of sick of hearing about the alpha female thing because it's kind of corny. It's getting corny because some of y'all that's saying y'all alphas are not. Okay, make it you loud. Don't make you an alpha female. Okay, that's not. But we don't have. That's a whole. My mama used to say that's another seminar. We're not even fit to talk about that. We'll have to come back for time 2 to talk about that. But what we do need to do, Sugar Ray, do you want to piggyback on what Donald said regarding how what advice do you have to the alpha woman? There's nothing wrong with being strong. I'm an alpha woman, but in my house where we live, Donald Livingston Bell Jr. is in charge. Period. And I'll be on the phone with Sugar Ray, be like, oh, I gotta go. Donald's home, right, Sugar Ray? And now he'll be like, Donald just be like, okay, she on the phone with Elam, it's fine, I can wait, right? But Elam knows, okay, Donald's home, we getting off the phone. Because at the end of the day, he's in charge. So ladies, it's nothing wrong with being an alpha female, but it ain't for your house. The only time a man needs you to be alpha is in the bedroom. Hallelujah. I know we ain't at church, okay? But that's the only time that is inappropriate to be an alpha, is in the bedroom when you at your house. Now, if you in corporate America, you're a boss, you C-suite, cool, great, wonderful. But you don't need to bring that masculine energy home. Don't nobody want to deal with that. And Donald Bell has taught me, I'm telling y'all, has taught me how to harness and balance my alpha and my femininity. I struggled because my father, even though I grew up with both parents in the home, my daddy was the one was like, don't let these get over on you. My daddy, the preacher, was like, don't let them get over on you. I had to unlearn some things. So ladies, I challenge you to unlearn. Where am I breaking men? Where am I not listening to them? And you also know how you're doing. If you have no male friends, that's a problem. I know some people say, well, you can't have male friends. That's not true. It's just that most of the time we end up sleeping with the man that was supposed to be our friend. We would end up sleeping with the man that was our assignment to help him get to his purpose and his kingdom purpose. But we end up sleeping with him talking about, well, girl, I just want to help him. No, y'all trauma bonded. Y'all weren't even trying to have no relationship. You were trying to fix him so you could clean him up to be a man. Y'all playing Build-A-Bear instead of really helping men be who they're called to be. Friend, who you sleep with, brother, whatever. Elam, why are you dying?
You playing Build a what?
Build a bear, okay, with these men. I'm sick of it. All right. So I'm gonna go around the room. Brandon,
No, but may I just say one thing, just really quickly?
Absolutely.
I want to add.
I'm just going to welcome our people that's in and chatting. Brandon Garner, thank you. Lakeisha Trim Green, Fearless Storyteller, bestseller, thank you for joining us. Kanisha Bussey, thank you. Melvin Smith Jr., thank you for joining us. Go ahead, Elam.
I would say I just want to put a caution. Dear ladies, I want to give you a piece of game. Okay, 2 pieces. Number 1, by nature, you have a nurturing factor that's about you. Period. Right? That's biologically who you are. The challenge that can exist inside of that is that sometimes that you take that nurturing aspect into a committed relationship, as if you can be that person that can nurture a man through, if he could just, and let me tell you something, we know our could just, right? We know what it is, and we will lead you along, letting you think that you could just us, right? I'm coming with my own word this evening. That if you could adjust us, right? You think you could adjust us, and you can't, right? So until we make that decision, and that's why when you meet us, we should have made that decision, right? So be very cautious of your nurturing factor, to whereas you'll exist inside of a relations and could just thinking that you could just adjust us to be a certain type of person, not knowing that maybe you are not that tool in the toolbox that's supposed to put us in the space that we're supposed to be in. And 9 times out of 10, we probably know that you aren't, but we will pull you along inside of a certain aspect. And that's why, ladies, sometimes you could break up with somebody and you see up and married in like 6 months or something, because he knew where he could adjust. And you weren't that person, you weren't that tool for the toolbox. So it's okay, because just because you have two good people doesn't mean that you're that person's person, right? So just be okay and be willing to take a look, and don't get dragged along because you think you're trying to go nurture somebody across the finish line. Okay, I'm gonna hit mute right
Ooh.
now.
Sugar Ray, go ahead.
It goes both ways. I love what you just said, right? But also don't drag that man along. Don't drag us along when we're showing you that we are ready and we have that mission, and you're like, well, it's just not your time for your mission, or I'm not submissive because that makes me weak. I'm going to do the hand signs because that's how it comes off to us. You can say it just like this. I'm just not ready to be submissive, and I'm not ready to, but it comes off as I'm just not ready to be submissive, and you ain't gonna tell me what you need me to do because that's what we hear, right?
Are you patting
We
your weave? Is that what that
Yeah,
is?
pat, you got it, pat your hair, pat your weave,
Okay.
pat your weave. Um, but in all honesty, just like all the fellas on here said, we know when we're ready. 9 times out of 10, when we were much younger, we weren't in that position. We maybe we had the adjust was we had to get our money right. Maybe we had to get certain things out of our system. We were into that entertainment dating at one point, but along the way, we know when we see you, we know you.
Mm.
When we see you, we know you. But it's a matter of if we see you and you still out here chasing the village, then even though we saw what could be, we're like, you know what? It's 7 million of y'all, it's 1 million of us. We're going to the next one. And she's
Period.
probably gonna look better than you. She's probably gonna have better accolades than you. She's probably gonna be more put together than you. And she's going to know how to complement our dreams and our visions. And at that point, we're not trying to be mean, but we went for peace. Your money doesn't entertain us. Your looks doesn't entertain us. The vajayjay ain't gonna keep us. It's all about you got a good heart. You peaceful, and are you my peace? Because my job is to protect you. I'm not gonna be Will Smith on stage slapping Chris Rock, and you Jada just sitting there like, I can't believe he did that. You better be your ass right there next to me, saying, listen, you was talking about me. Come on, we got this together. And if that's you, then we'll give you the world. But if you can't give me peace and you ain't got my back, then it's why would I even make that adjustment from having the world that's out here to giving up the world to go into my own personal prison? You
Mm.
can't be my prison, you got to be my peace.
Ooh, ladies, put that in the comments. You can't be my prison. You gotta be my peace. Listen, Mr. King, Craig. I'm sorry, Craig. I
Yes.
gotta make sure I say the right King because the other one do too much. Mr. Craig, what were you gonna say?
Yes. My mind was cooking as you was talking. That was great, by the way. Another thing I can think of, being a man's backbone and his support system, right? Um, Everything that I'm doing right now is something I always wanted to do. Always wanted to tell my story. Always wanted to do a podcast. Always wanted to be a motivational speaker and a lot of things. Give an example. In my past, I told someone I was dating at the time, "Hey, I got this vision. I had a dream about everything I'm doing right now. Hey, I got this vision. I said, I can see it. I can see it so clear. I want to do a podcast. I want to do this." She goes, "I don't see that for you. But I'm telling you my dream and my purpose." So what happened was when it didn't work out, it goes, damn. She says to me, my pride got in the way. I knew everything would take off. I know you're gonna have. I know you're gonna have everything you want in life. I know the next person you talk to is gonna be amazing. I should have supported you. I should have been your backbone. Imagine how it feels when you see a man accomplishing his goals. He telling you what it feels like, what he wants to do. In that process, he's taking that first step, and you went along like, let's go, babe, let's go. You know how many men behind the scenes like, hey, I don't know, I'm a little insecure about this, but the lady like, yo, King, you got this. Lift your head up. You got this. Imagine how that feel for a man. Get that confidence in. Going for a job interview, like, yeah, my babe said I got this. I got this. Be a support system. Be his backbone.
No, that's so good. And you do got a real one, sir. You absolutely
Yes.
do. You don't play about her, man. Let's be real clear about that. But I want to go back. So the girl, the ex, she actually told you this, that she should have had your back? She actually said that to you?
Yeah, this was towards the end, like when it didn't work out, and she's shown emotions. This is the first time that I got emotions from her out of the 5 years we've been talking. And I'm thinking, like, I'm not saying that I'm perfect, by the way. It's not what I'm saying, but it's the more thing of like, damn, where was this the whole time we was together? Where was this when I needed you? Why you wait to the way out? Now it's just like it's not going to work. So by then, my emotions are already. I'm so numb to you now. Now that the fact that I can't go to you for support, I can't trust you. Now after that, it goes. We got a woman who supports your vision. That gives a man the utmost confidence. That man feel like he can do any damn thing, anything, even if he's scared. He feel like he can do anything.
Yeah. No, that's good. The reason I asked you when the girl said that, because I was just trying to do the timeline to make sure it wasn't when you was with my sister. So I just needed to make sure she wasn't like in your DM or something.
No. This is before.
Okay. Just know I got you, because I was like, I know you expressing your emotions, but you'll still get on it. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. Dr. Marika Tipton says, now she is a real doctor, y'all. She's like real earned doctor. She said, are these men, hey, Dr. T, she said, are these men also ready to support the woman's vision for her life? And let me answer that for you, Doc. They wouldn't be on here with me if they weren't. Okay. Now, not these. Now, the question is, gentlemen, this is the table. Go ahead, Elam. You can answer this question. How can men like y'all help men at large grow and evolve? Because there's a lot of men that's not like y'all, they're not supportive, they're jealous, they're envious, and it's all about them. There's no mutual respect, there's no mutual, I'm gonna help you, you help me, I'm gonna help you, right? So how do we bridge the gap so that women don't feel like they're always supporting and not getting it in return? Elam?
So I want to comment on Marika's point and then just answer your question at the same time. So Marika, Dr. Tipton, I want to share with you that what some of your peers, I'm not going to say you, what some of your peers might need to understand is that it's a given that we are going to be there for your vision. And I know that might not be something that's communicated quite often or whatever. The only thing that I can equate this to, and I don't care who likes it or doesn't like it, but I remember Kevin Samuels made a comment, and he said that something that we'll just put it in the category of that high value men have in their minds is that when you say you're going to bring the table to the table, like that doesn't even register to us because we got the table. Right. And I know that that's not something that's said and understood. But so to your question, are we going to be ready for your vision? Yeah, because we know that once we make that decision and we know what our direction is, we know that you're going to come to the table with something and that we have to make sure that that's going to be a compliment to what we're. So going back to what I said earlier, hey, there's got to be a compliment that exists there, right? So your vision is a compliment to me. So absolutely, we're here to make sure that we're there for your vision. That's actually a given, and we are out here. How can men to your question, Adrian? How can men just, I guess, I'll say, how can men even understand tonight? It is to know that, hey, there's some unlearn, back to the first question, and relearn that we got to do, right? And we're here tonight to say that, if anything, we're telling you there's an unlearn and relearn that we had to do. And we actually think that we read a little bit, and we go to church a little bit, and we went to school a little bit, and we try to do a little bit. But here's the thing. So we're saying, hey, we had to unlearn and relearn. So you know what? Come along with us on this journey, right? Of unlearn and relearn. And in order for us to improve our communities, we have to improve our families. In order to improve our families, we have to take a look at the two people who are most important inside of that, which is the man and the woman. But we have men on the phone tonight to say that we're working in that direction. That's the reason why that we wrote this book with regard to When the Soul Cries, to share with you that, hey, along with your plight to want to go be great, we know that there are pockets of where your soul might cry. And here's some examples of how we walk through those moments.
Sugar Ray, what are we looking at?
Just giving the biblical answer to that question.
Oh.
Can a man support that woman's vision? And Matt, it says, and for this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined inseparably to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no one separate. Saying that to say that your vision is my vision. My vision is your vision.
That's good. That's good.
We understand that it's certain things don't have to be said to be understood, but that's the answer.
And so it, unfortunately, we got to distinguish between real men and boys. And again, we don't got time to get into it tonight, but a real man understands the vision that you have, ladies. So if you're dating a man, or unfortunately married to a man who is not supportive of your vision, then y'all need to reinvent y'all's marriage. And ladies, you may not want to marry this man, right? Because my vision, I don't do anything without Donald Bell signing off on it. I don't. Because if it's not a part of our family alignment, I'm out of order. I'm out of order. And women don't like, he not gonna tell me what to do. We grabbing there. I don't got no hair, so I can't beat my weave, but we grabbing there and like, you ain't gonna tell me what to do, and you trying to control me. No, sometimes we don't know what we want to do. One day we doing Mary Kay, the next day we selling peanuts, the next day we doing, and it's cool. They'll move with what we're doing, but as long as it aligns with the overall vision, a real man is going to support you. That's why I keep saying real man. Some of us don't engage, nor do we attract real men. We attract men with big penises that we feel like, oh, this is who I want to be married to, girl. Then you marry him, penis don't work, and then you're mad. No. That's what you wanted. So you got what you prayed for, right? What you asked God for, that's what you got. So we got to unlearn as well, ladies. We have to also be willing to share our vision instead of sneaking around and then we like, ta-da, and want him to support it. At least get his input, and then maybe you guys can meet somewhere in the middle. So this is not a relationship talk necessarily, but we do want to have that conversation as we're getting ready to wrap, guys. As we close out, Sugar Ray, Mark, Elam, Craig, honey, thank you so much for sharing your hearts. I need y'all to go to Amazon.com right now. Get the book, When His Soul Cries. I actually have my copy right here. When His Soul Cries, Trauma, Tears, Triumph. You want to go ahead and get this book. The men are sharing the knowledge, sharing their stories in here. We didn't get into the stories because we need you to go get the book. Also, I want so download the book. Also, when you get your Kindle, you can buy a Kindle copy for someone else as a gift. So email it to somebody and say, I sent you something, okay? Because you want to make sure that as we don't want this conversation to be in vain. We want you to walk away with tools and tips that you can be better in your relationships, in your platonic relationships, in your marriage, in your engagement. We all need to be better. And these men are just an example of there are actually good men out here. Everybody ain't cheating. Everybody ain't cheating. Everybody ain't beating on women. Everybody's not out here being trifling. Some people are actually trying. Have they been perfect? No. And they sit and they tell you in the book. Because sometimes people get on these podcasts and these shows lying. You be like, sir, you have no receipts. What are you talking about? Your wife don't even like you. Okay. So the fact that these men are like, listen, I didn't have it together, but I'm getting it together. Closing remarks, Mark Bester. What closing remarks do you have for us tonight, sir? Oh.
Closing remarks. I guess I would say that as the journey is men and women growing up, that is very important to know who you are before you get into a relationship. Because if you don't, then you'll find that you're going to be bumping heads along the way. And like you said, you need to be a one accord and walking together. But if you don't know who you are and she doesn't know who she is, you're both trying to figure it out within the realms of this relationship, and it's not going to work.
No, that's good. That's good. All right, Mr. Craig, closing remarks.
Closing remark also is something that I constantly do myself. Message to men also: never stop working on yourself. It doesn't stop if you're engaged, married, single, whatever the case may be. Never stop working on yourself. One thing that we didn't talk about is surround yourself with strong brothers. I've been blessed to have amazing people who I surround myself, who I can be me around, be okay around. So strong people you can trust and continue to work on yourself.
Excellent. Excellent. Elam?
Sorry. I think that just those comments right there is everything. Before you get into a relationship, fellas, you know, the one person that you need to sign up for before you sign up for a relationship is you need to sign up for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know who that person is, you're going to have some missteps into the leadership that you're going to have inside of your relationship and the leadership that you're going to have for yourself as you move forward, right? So, you know, take a moment, and if you need to date for entertainment, I know that was a little it seemed like that was a popular little comment for the night, right? If you need to do that for a moment and be clear about what that is and go figure you out first. And you know, Craig's point to surrounding yourself. I mean, if you have four broke people, you're gonna be the fifth, right? You have to pay attention to your inner circle.
Yeah.
And so I think that those 2 points come down to you understanding who you are. Once you understand who you are, you're gonna be able to make better decisions and have a level of self-worth that will allow you to have a leadership inside of a relationship.
Excellent. Sugar Ray. And for the record, Sugar Ray is not ugly. He said it. I was just repeating him because they was like, he is not ugly. Y'all, he not ugly. Okay. He's 6'7". So if you like tall men, he tall, but you gotta have some money though. But anyway, go ahead, Sugar Ray. Closing remarks.
It ain't about the money. You make me sound like a gigolo.
No. Well, because women make it seem like they can just come to the table and y'all just supposed to have everything, right? I didn't put that pressure on my husband. I said, we'll do this together. And so, and when we're there's a difference between building an empire and building a kingdom. When you're building an empire, it's for yourself. When you're building a kingdom, it's for the team. So there is a difference. Go ahead, Sugar Ray.
Yeah. The thing that I would say to the fellas out there is one of the most powerful pieces of advice that I received came from a woman, and she said, you got to heal the little boy inside first. Mm. That's the first thing. And then get spiritually grounded, because once you get spiritually grounded, you'll be able to see the things that you may have in the flesh you weren't paying attention to. Just like the money, the looks, the great sex. Okay, all those are good. But when you start thinking long term, what is this relationship really about? And put those people into different categories. Is this the person that's going to be my forever, or is this the person that's now? And when you make that distinction, you'll understand, like, you're going to protect your forever because you're looking at your future. You're looking at generational wealth. You're looking at, this is going to be the future mother of my children. or this is going to be the woman that is around my children. And those things are important. There's certain people that do not get a chance to meet my son or my niece. Those two are like the most valuable people in my life. So you have to know who you are. You have to get that spiritual grounding. You gotta heal before you go out there and add to all the baggage that has been dumped on these women out here. There's some beautiful queens that have way too much baggage. And so before you go and you add baggage to that woman, then what you need to do is heal first, so that when you walk into that relationship, you're whole. Once you heal, then you can be whole. And then you can truly build that kingdom with God's purpose in mind.
I love that. I love that. Last but not least, Mr. Donald Bell. Closing remarks, my love.
First of all, thank you all, brothers, for joining and all of your contributions tonight. What I will say in closing to the brothers that are out there listening is continue to do the work. All of us that are on this a part of this journey, we grew up, in an era where the men that raised us or whatever, they worked for a company for 25 or 30 years and then they retired. They did the work and then they went to school and they graduated and they got a certificate. They stopped doing the work. They got in a marriage and they raised their kids. The kids went off to college and started doing their thing. They got a certificate. They graduated. They stopped doing the work. We got to keep doing the work. And a big part of that work is what I believe Craig said it. Elam talked about it. Is surrounding yourself with some brothers who are going to help you. We've talked a lot tonight about what the ladies aren't doing and what ladies can do and this, that, and the third. But some of our cultivating that we need, iron does sharpen iron. And so some of the cultivating that we need can only be done by another brother. And that's also an area where we struggle because we grew up in eras where you don't talk about family business, you don't share your information with nobody else. I ain't trying to tell no, can't no other dude tell me how to do me, da 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 da. But you struggling and you really need some help. And so you really need to entrust your information to another brother who's not just going to help you through it, but hold you accountable. We don't like to be held accountable by another brother. Elam King has been a great inspiration and a great influence in our marriage because after it took me some time to get adjusted because I wasn't open to the idea of him knowing information in our marriage and all of this kind of stuff. But it has been a blessing because in moments he can say, "Nah, Doc, I'm Mr. Miyagi and he's Daniel's son." And so sometimes he'll be like, "Nah, Mr. Miyagi, you off on this. You got to fix this, or what you experiencing right now. This is the you're laying in the bed that you created, so you got to lay in that for a minute, and vice versa." And I've had similar discussions with other brothers and that sort of thing. And it may not feel good in the moment, but it's what we need, and we shun away from that. We shy away from that level of accountability because we think we got it together, but it's a front, and we don't, and we got to stop fronting. We don't have it all together. We don't have it figured out. We need to get some help. So we need to get therapy and professional help. Get it. I did. I didn't. It was the best thing I could have ever done. Took me a minute to get there, but that's what I needed. But keep doing the work. We don't graduate. When we graduate, we go to see the Father. That's when we graduate. But keep doing the work. We want to get to this place where we can just sit back and chill. It doesn't happen. You can enjoy life. If you want to continue to enjoy the ride, you got to keep doing the work.
I love it. Listen, guys, this is the Fearless Storytellers movement. The men of the Fearless Storytellers. When his soul cries, trauma, tears, triumph. Make sure you go to Amazon right now. Download the ebook. Send it as a gift to someone. They just scroll on their phone and read it. Right? So we don't have all the information is here. The men, they held themselves accountable and they helped us as women, ladies that are watching. They helped us level up and to learn and unlearn some things so that we can help build a better culture, a better family, and a better kingdom culture so that God can get all the glory. Guys, we love you. We thank you for joining us tonight. Continue to share this live stream. Go back and watch it. For those that came in late, thank you for joining us. We love you guys. Have a great night. Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Night.